The Galactic Council was made up of beings who had watched stars be born and die. They were not easily shaken. Hall, a symbol, carved from the asteroid's heart. But on this day, a terror unlike anything they'd ever known swept through the chamber. It rippled through the crystalline xylosians, made the methane breath of the grok catch in their respiratory sacs, and even caused the stoic stone skin of the Ordovician counselor to crack. What caused this panic wasn't a threat of war. It wasn't a hostile fleet or some newly discovered void leviathan. Forbidden truth. Sol 3's true name, unearthed. A primitive little world they simply called Earth. Council's mood, amused. Homo sapiens, the new species, a bipedal carbon-based life form from the third planet in a completely unremarkable yellow star system. As the High Archivist, it was my duty to present the initial findings. My name is Zylar, chaotic, prone to conflict, art, and violence. Networks chaos, trivial tales, bizarre myths, and unseen gods. Insectoid clicked. Gods? How quaint indeed. Do they still sacrifice livestock to them? In some isolated regions, yes, I confirmed. They're remarkably resilient, having survived multiple extinction-level events they brought on themselves. Hostile world, death, extremes, fierce life. And yet, they thrive. We've named their world Earth, a translation of their common word for soil. They show little promise for unified space travel. They are, for all intents and purposes, a curiosity, a planetary civilization in its turbulent infancy. The Council had voted unanimously to classify them as Level 7, pre-stellar and non-threatening. We would watch from a distance, just another entry in our endless catalog of the universe. We were so sure of our wisdom. We were fools. Whispered terror. Probe found anomaly in dead star system. Faint, structured energy. Probing cosmic layers. Time. And there, etched into the fabric of space-time around a white dwarf, was a fragment of a text. It was ancient. Its energy signature predated the Cathar Empire by 1 billion years. It predated our own council. The language was a form of mathematics so complex it was almost divine. We knew, with a certainty that chilled us to our core, who had left it. The architects, the mythical first ones. The civilization we believed had seeded the galaxy before vanishing into eternity. Council silenced. Architect's message redefined all. The message itself was simple. A star chart. And at its center, marked with a symbol of profound warning, was a single, tiny star system. The system we knew as Sol. A deep unease settled over the Council. Our amusement toward humanity was gone, replaced by a gnawing fear. I was given a single, monumental task. Find and decipher any other fragments of the architect's message. For weeks, our most advanced probe scoured the galaxy. Fragments found in nebulae, black holes, and creatures' genes. A story emerged. Creation. A war unfolded. War of concepts, cryptic translations, unsettling depths. Phrases that made no logical sense kept appearing. The garden was sealed, not abandoned. Beware the echoes of the fall. The steward's throne must not be disturbed. The council grew more agitated with every report. Desperate for context, I turned back to Earth's own primitive data streams. I began analyzing their oldest texts, the mythologies and religious documents I had so casually dismissed. Genesis felt real. Correlations chilled me. It read like a simplified, allegorical eyewitness account of the architect's text. It spoke of a garden, a fall, a great flood, of beings of light, and a great deceiver. We had laughed at their myths. We weren't laughing anymore. Last piece in place. The text revealed monstrous truths. Council convened. Dread filled the sealed chamber. I stood at the center of the hall, feeling the weight of 1 billion years of history on my shoulders. Trembling, I began. Translation complete. I read on. The Great Weaver forged existence, But the first thread, the unraveler, sought to undo the pattern. The unraveler was cast out, but not destroyed. A fracture echoed through all creation. Words sank in. Weaver's focal point. Nexus of realities. It is not a world as you understand it. It is not a random sphere of rock and water. Its true name is Eretz. In our tongue, it translates roughly to the footstool. But the context is more specific. It is a throne world. Panic bloomed. I declared, voice rising, crucible! It was seated with a species given a unique charge. They weren't meant to be conquerors or explorers. They were meant to be stewards, guardians, jailers. Their very souls were forged in the battle between the Weaver's order and the Unraveler's chaos. Their endless wars, their suffering, their capacity for magnificent love and horrifying evil, it's all by design. It is the fire that forges their spirit. Dimensions, not afterlives. Earth is the lock. And the species you call humanity holds the key. We haven't been observing a primitive species. We have been peering through the keyhole of the most important, most dangerous place in all of creation. I took a shaky breath and delivered the final devastating sentence from the architect's text. We did not just stumble upon a new species. We trespassed on holy ground. And we have just announced our presence to the forces chained within, and to the one who sits on the throne. Terror consumed all. Council shattered. Screams erupted. Ambassador scraped. Others stared. Minds shattered. Flee! Erase the sector! Quarantine! Panic! Wipe the memory of every probe, every ship, every archivist. Ancient being rose. Red light pulsed violently. It raised a shimmering appendage, and a wave of pure force silenced the chamber. The Chancellor's voice wasn't spoken. It was felt a cold, sharp spike of absolute fear and authority in the mind of every being there. Withdraw, it commanded. All fleets, all probes. Destroy the archives. Erase every mention of this sector from our collective memory. We have committed a sin of arrogance, and we cannot possibly comprehend the penance. We have knocked on the door of a god, without knowing if we were waking the Creator or its opposite. Final order. No debate. Retreat, forget, pretend. I now sit in my darkened archive, the data slates wiped clean. But the words are seared into my mind. Stargazing at void, cataloging the cosmos once. We brought order, but the universe is a story. Conflict unfolds, divine stakes, humanity's the star. Throne guardians dwell, watched by a power, prison-bound. We searched the galaxy for answers, and found a warning written in the language of the gods. A warning that we are just children, playing in the garden of a vast and terrifying estate, completely unaware of the war raging inside the manor house. Galaxy orbits a throne world, Earth, not a black hole. If this story expanded your view of the cosmos, let us know by liking and subscribing for more biblical sci-fi narratives. Council's next move? Forget. Unthinkable.